Ladies and gentlemen, often I address large issues, world issues, societal issues, issues of the universe, but I wanted to go a little smaller today in honor of these wonderful poets here. I asked Apollo to bless this wonderful assemblage, the fine work of Mr. Sirwa, who brings together so many great voices. Please allow me just set a special candle for you, my brother. And I want to go small, I want to go human with these three little pieces. One called Dressed in a Caress. Clothed by love, caresses for dresses, bejeweled by kisses, each much tongued touch, a bright delight, flare and flourish, a fountain of hair, fingertips to tender toes blessed in the sweetness of deep longing love, blessings bold, never cold, the sweet breath, another caress. And then this one called, thank you, A Ripening, addressing time and love. Ripening, respecting the passage of time, so do we ripen. As our mountains we climb, some fall quite slowly, some flutter quick like a leafy full branch that resolves to a stick. Some barely blossom and yet fall to earth. Others in full time spend their days ripened in mirth. Seeds flutter by and leaves dance. In a waltz with the wind, who knows what ripe moment when our weighty stems thin. And this one, to those of you who take pen to paper at 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning like I do, I call this restless sleep. Pen to paper, write it out. Pour that power, let those verbians shout. I find if I scribble between 3 and 4 and chase those noisome phantoms from my door, then sleep returns, my welcome friend. Then sleep I till 7 and home again. I rise to write and pluck from sleepy villagers there, and pinions, restless worries, care. Visit friends I might otherwise miss and send them off this inky kiss. I hope in some small way this eases and brings to mind and head to pillowy breezes. Send, get your rest, dear friend, it pleases your beauteous soul. Find its rest in art, the goal. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick, and thanks for lighting a candle for me. What wonderful work. Thanks for blessing our assemblage through the grace of Apollo. Wonderful work. And yes, rest works wonders, but I love how you say, get your rest in art. That's great. Let's set our souls there.
Thank
you. Wonderful. Excellent. So Steve Schwei is up next, and then we got Sue and Richard B. and Ian and Karen and Rorschach, Therese and Lantern Carey, etc. Rita B. Rose and more. Leonard. So please, Steve Schwei, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Rick, I was glad to hear you reading some poems that were more slice of life. The people have been reading such consequential and weighty poems. I was beginning to think mine were trivial today, but mine are closer to what you read. Okay, so I have 3 poems today. These are all brand new. Male Beauty. The sun rises on fine blonde hairs, illuminates the young male's arm and shoulder, glistens on his marble torso. In the wild, he could be a 19-year-old athlete with short brown hair or a bronze surfer boy, every muscle etched on his tight, compact frame. Got a glimpse of his perfect naked form, watched him glide through the countryside, tantalizing and pure. He's a study in musculature, movement, and proportion. One touch, one glance, a caress of the setting sun falls across the back of his powerful legs. The crystal full moon highlights his angles and curves, keeps him frozen in our minds. Nothing compares not even himself the next day or the day before. Treasure it. This next one is called An Obvious Rule. I would think it would be obvious that if you're 7 feet tall or more, you would watch where your elbow goes. For some reason, I live in fear as I pass these relative giants in the middle of a crowd that I'll be struck in the throat by a jutting appendage, thrust backwards towards me as they emphasize their point or generally gesticulate. And don't back up without checking behind you, which applies to everyone but observed by so few. Know your personal space and respect mine. So make sure nobody is there before dancing and flailing all over the room. Sometimes common sense isn't so common. And then this last one, I've been collecting hundreds of fortunes from fortune cookies for many years. And my intention was to use them in found poems or to use them to inspire me for poems. And I finally sat down and grabbed one and did that. Wisdom from a fortune cookie. He who has imagination without learning has wings but no feet. Look to the sky, for there you will soar, but don't invent a better mousetrap until you've been to the hardware store. Don't seek out a venture capitalist to support the next cordless phone until you've sampled all that are out there. Stay anchored, get your feet wet, then flap your feathers to test if the updrafts will support you. Depart from your flock, run with your new idea, see if the wind will fill your sails, airborne at last because you diligently grounded yourself. Thank you.